A very fresh morning to one and all present here. How are you all? I hope you all are fit, fine, healthy. You're staying home, you're staying safe. Before beginning with our lesson, I would like to appreciate you all for giving your full efforts in the studies. Even in this pandemic time, this pandemic has not let you suffer from the studies. So I would like to appreciate you for that and then begin with our lesson. Myself Zainab Kagdi from Atmiya Green School is going to teach you English from Oxford Revised New Pathways course book. So we were on unit number 9, My Life. In this unit, it is an excerpt from the autobiography of APJ Abdul Kalam, and this offers us a glimpse into his childhood. Before that, let us have a quick review about APJ Abdul Kalam. As we say, APJ Abdul Kalam, his full form is Abul Pakir Jainul Abidin Abdul Kalam. He was a scientist and engineer who served as the President of India from 2002 to 2007. He is a man of vision who was always full of ideas aimed at the development of the country and is often also referred to as the Missile Man of India. People loved and respected him so much during his tenure as president that was popularly called the People's President. He has also received largest civilian award Bharat Ratna in 1997. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was scientist, engineer, professor, author, president, and a very good human being. As you can see on the left, on your right hand side at the bottom, it is the picture of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. His birthplace was in Tamil Nadu in Rameswaram. You can see that in the map. Talking about his education, he completed his education at the Schwartz Higher Secondary School, Ramanathapuram. He graduated in physics in 1954 from St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli. In 1955 to study aerospace engineering in Madras Institute of Technology. You can see that picture in the right side. He worked at Defense Research and Development Organization, that says DRDO, and Indian Space Research Organization, that is ISRO. He became the 11th President of India on 25th July 2002. He says that dreams is not what you see in sleep, but it is a thing which doesn't let you sleep. So we'll begin our lesson with this wonderful quote given by APJ Abdul Kalam. Now I'll request you to take out page number 123 from your English course book and we'll continue the lesson. Before that, let us have a quick summary of what we learned in our previous video. It was his class teacher, his mathematics teacher had arrived at his place and he informed to his parents that Abdul has scored full marks in mathematics in the exam. Along with that, he has also scored in science, Tamil, English, and the teachers were very much proud of him. After hearing that, he was very much happy and his family celebrated that day. And then we discussed about his morning schedule, that he woke up early in the morning before sunrise. So that says that we need to wake up early in the morning. and he used to attend two classes before going to school, that is Arabic tuition classes, in order to learn Quran. And then he went to mathematics teacher house to learn mathematical sums. Then we discussed about his schooling, that his school was at Rameswaram. He studied at Rameswaram Elementary School, and that was the only school in that town. And that he had a best friend named Ramnatha Shastri, and they used to build boats out of leaves and used to keep them ready when it rained. And we also discussed about how he rode that boat, and he used to, like, if they found any ant or any insect, they used to keep them inside the boat safely. And then um, that that really gave them thrill. So we'll move up to our next paragraph, that is on page number 125, and we'll move up and we'll proceed with the story. I read out that for you. Siva Subramaniam Iyer taught me when I was 10 years old and in the 5th standard. He was a great teacher, and all of us loved to attend his class and hear him. One day he was teaching how birds fly. He drew a diagram of a bird on the blackboard depicting the wings, tail, and the body structure. He explained how birds create the lift and fly. He also explained to us how they change direction while flying. For nearly 25 minutes, he gave the lecture with various information such as lift, drag, and how birds fly in the formations of 10, 20, or 30. At the end of the class, he wanted to know whether we had understood what he had been teaching. I spoke up and said I had not understood. When I said this, he asked the other students whether they had understood or not. Many students then said that they too had not understand. Our response did not upset him at all. So now he talks about his teacher, how great he was. It was named Siva Subramania, and he taught him that when he was only 10 years old in the 5th standard, just as you all. He was a great teacher and he loved him a lot. And one day he was teaching about birds and how do they fly with a diagram he drew on the blackboard. He's very creative. The wings, tail, and the body structure. He also explained how the birds create the lift and they fly. But after 25 minutes, he gave the lecture, but still, this Abdul Kalam did not understood the concept. So he spoke up and said that he did not understood this concept, but this did not upset the teacher. So we can learn from here that if you have any query in your life or in any concept, then you can ask your teachers regarding it without hesitation. Then next paragraph. When we were scheduled to have our next class with him, he had a wonderful surprise. He said that he would take us to the seashore that evening. The whole class went to the seashore of Rameshwaram. We enjoyed looking out at the roaring waves in the sky. There were many birds flying around. He pointed out the birds that were flying. As you can see in the picture, that here is the Sir Siva Subramaniam Iyer, and you can find out the kids of class 5th and how he is pointing out towards the formation of the bird. And he saw that, and he taught them that they used to fly in the formation of 10, 20, or 30. Okay. And we observed the marvelous flight formations they made. He asked us to watch how they looked when they were in flight and how they flapped their wings. He then told us to look at the tail and see how they used to use the combination of flapping wings and twisting their tail while flying. We noticed closely and found that the birds were able to fly in the direction they wanted to by using both tail and wings. So now, with giving the live example and taking them to the seashore, he explained them regarding the flight formations of the birds. And then he asked them to watch how they used to fly in the sky, how they used to flap their wings and use their tail. So these were all combinedly they helped us, these body parts helped them to fly. Then he asked us, where is the engine in this bird? Do you know what the engine that powers each bird is? He explained that each bird is powered by its own life force and the motivation of what it wants. In the space of 15 minutes, he explained the concept of flight dynamics in birds, and we understood everything. He gave us a theoretical lesson coupled with a live practical example available in nature. This was real teaching. So now he's discussing how theoretically, along with that, practical examples that teacher used to use while teaching them, and he asked them for understanding the concept of flight dynamics in birds. He took them to the seashore to understand it, and he gave them 15 minutes to watch them and to understand the concept. For me, that evening, I did not merely understand how a bird flies. It went much deeper. I felt as though the bird's flight entered into me and created a special feeling. Since that evening, I was sure that my future study had to be with reference to the flight and flight systems. My teacher's teaching and the event that I witnessed that day decided my career path. So now that evening he did not understood the concept, but he thought about it a lot, and then he realized that his future career might be something related with the flight. So that teacher's teaching and event that he had witnessed that day had decided his career path. One evening after the class, I asked him, "Sir, please tell me how can I progress further in the learning about flight?" He patiently explained to me that I should complete my 8th standard year and then go to high school. After that, I should go to engineering college where I would be able to learn about flight. If I completed each step, I would be able to do something connected with flight sciences. This advice and the lesson that evening by the seashore gave me a goal and a mission for my life. So, dear student, you can understand from this paragraph that after the class he went to the sir and asked that how could he progress his learning about flight. So that science teacher explained him that after 8th standard he need to complete his elementary schooling in this school and then go to high school. After that he need to go to engineering college where he could learn about flight, and if he completed each step properly, then he could do something connected with flight science. And these advice and lesson actually helped him in the life, as we said that he is a scientist. I spoke to my father about my dreams and ambitions, and as a result, at the age of 15, decided to move to the Schwartz High School in Ramanathapuram. As we understood this from the first slide that he moved to the Schwartz High School in Ramadan at the age of 15. Saying goodbye to Rameswaram and the familiar old streets was difficult. And I was a bit scared too of going away from this place where everyone knew me and where I knew every corner and tree. I had never gone so far away from my family, and to leave my mother behind made me specially sad. She too shed tears and made boxes of food that would last for me for few days. Those police that I was so fond of went with me on my first trip outside Rameswaram. We left by the train. Jalaluddin and Shamsuddin came along with me to help me settle down in the new place. I remember waving goodbye to everyone till they were little specks in the distance. My eyes were threatening to water, but I held back the tears. So now, dear students, he went out of the city and now he is very much upset because he need to leave his mother, he need to leave his friends, he need to say goodbye to Rameswaram and the familiar old streets. It was difficult and it is very difficult for each one of us. But he knew that his career, his future is waiting for him. So he had to take this hard step. But before that, he was very much scared because he had never gone so far away from the family, and now he need to go away, far away in a unfamiliar place. So it was a bit like scary for him. He would miss the police, but his mother had packed that for him. Then Jalaluddin and Samsuddin went along with him to settle at a new place, and all these were little upsetting to him. His eyes were threatening to water, but he controlled himself. He was about to cry, but he controlled himself. Why? Because he thought that I was a big boy now. How could I cry for my mother in front of everyone? So it was his age was 15 and he considered that if I cry then it will be painful for the family and his mother. But whatever one's age, to live away from your parents for the first time, however exciting, can also be a bit frightening. My first glimpse of my new school was of a plaque that was nailed to its entrance that read, "Let not thy winged days be spent in vain. When once gone, no gold can buy them back." It meant that the best days of our lives were now, when we were learning, and we had to make the most of this time. Once gone, the time would run like sand between our fingers and we would never get it back again. The words not only filled with hope and expectations but also helped me put aside my homesickness and look forward to all that I would learn at this new school. So now what happened? He left his parents and then now he arrived in the train. He had to far away from the family, but now he's in a new city and his first glimpse of the school was of a plaque means an ornamental tablet made of wood or metal fixed on a wall, means on a wall there was something named plaque, and now that is like a wall and something like ornamental tablet made of wood or metal that was fixed on the wall and it was printed on them. Let not thy winged days be spent in vain. That means when once gone, time cannot come back. No gold can buy them back. That means once time flies, it never comes back to us. That words filled himself with hope and expectations, and he kept aside all the homesickness and looked forward to learning in the new school. So, this is an excerpt from My Life, an illustrated autobiography written by APJ Abdul Kalam. So, it was a wonderful lesson, and we need to learn a lot from him, whether it is waking up early in the morning and learning hardly, doing hard work, and understanding each concept wholeheartedly. And if you do not understand anything, then you need to ask it. You should not say that I know everything and something like that. We should learn from APJ Abdul Kalam and from this excerpt that how he proceeded in his career, how he asked his teacher and took the help of his teacher and parents for his career, and we can learn a lot from him from these lessons. So I'll request you to read out this lesson and solve the reading 1 and 2 by your own. We will discuss it in our next video.